Hello investors, welcome back to the Trend Trader channel. So in today's short video, we're just going to be looking at the stock. The stock is going to be paying a dividend in the upcoming week. So the stock is Total Foschini Group. They came out with the result recently. Then they declared a dividend. You can see that the result, they came on the 9th of June 2023. These are the results for the year that ended in 31 March 2023. So now what we see from this result, so this result, they cover the ordinary and preference shares, but most of the time we always trade the ordinary shares. So we're not going to talk about the preference share. So what do we see with this result? So what we like is that the company, it increased its revenue by 19.4% to 55.1 billion. This was an increase from 46.2 billion. So that is nice. We see that the company is making money. And then there is a profit after tax which increased by 4%. So the profit it increased to 3 billion. Remember, the profit after tax, that is where the management can decide to pay dividends. So when we look at companies, we prefer companies that have a positive or that have a profit after tax. Because if a company has a loss after tax, that company might not be able, that company is less likely to pay a dividend. So is a loss after tax a deal breaker? Not necessarily. If it's for trading purposes, it's fine. You can trade that company because we are looking at the price action. We are looking to see if you can make capital gain based on the risk to reward. But for investing purposes and for dividend earning purposes, the company must have profit after tax, because without it, then it is less likely that it will receive a dividend. Then another thing to pay attention to is that there is a basic earnings per share of about 9 rand 40 cent. Remember, this is reported in cents, so that represents about 4.1% increase. So we're happy with this. The company is growing its revenue, it's growing its after tax profit, and it is also growing its basic earnings per share. And then the last important exciting part, maybe for some other investors, is this final dividend declaration of 1 rand 50 cent per share. However, that is a decrease of 54 cents. This means that the company previously, they paid a dividend or final dividend of about 3 rands per share. These things, they happen. We can't expect to make a lot of money at all times. So now the other important thing now is the dividend information, so that we need to know when we can expect to be paid this dividend if we are shareholders. So this is the information: final ordinary dividend declaration. Again, the dividend is 1 rand 50 cent before tax, and then we always pay tax in South Africa. So the after tax money, you're going to subtract that 20% dividend withholding tax, which leaves you with about 1 rand 20 cent net dividend that you will receive after tax. The important dates are here. We've covered, we have a video where we explain all these dates, what do they mean. But basically, the information about the dividend was released on the 9th of June. So the last day to trade to receive a dividend, meaning the last day where you should have bought the shares in order to be eligible to receive the dividend, is the 18th of July. So today it's the 15th or 16th of July. You need to ensure that by Tuesday, 18th July, you already own these shares. Then from the 19th of July, then the shares will be trading ex-dividend. So sometimes it happens that on the ex-dividend date, the share price drops by the amount that is going to be paid on the dividend. So if you buy before the 18th of July, chances are the share price is going to drop by 1 rand 50 cent, because that money is released from the company to shareholders. And then on Friday, the 21st of July, that is when the record date happens. So the things get tricky here on the last day to trade and the ex-dividend. You can buy the shares before the 18th of July. Definitely you should be on the record date. You can buy the shares on the ex-dividend date. If you are lucky enough, you could be on the record date. It depends. We know that the day of transaction in the record, usually it's T plus 3 or T plus 5. So you see the difference between the last day to trade, it's Tuesday, so that's about 3 days. So I think they're using the T plus 3. But if you buy the shares on the ex-dividend date, don't be surprised when you don't receive the dividend, considering the recording date, and also take into consideration the time it takes for them to update the shareholder list. And then for those people that will have bought shares before the 18th of July, because the people that will buy on the 19th, chances are they will just be gambling with respect to the dividend. So that dividend is going to be paid on the 24th of July. So that is a good news. This is a company that you can consider buying, especially if you want to receive that R1.50 per share dividend, that is gross, and then the R1.20 per share, which is the net dividend. So for those people that have been following us for a while, you know that our story is incomplete without a chart. We always like to look at the chart so that we can see. We already have a position on TFG, so we are not really worried much about the ex-dividend date because we already have a position. However, looking at the chart, we are a bit worried. You can see here the stock is trading in what looks like a range. At this moment, it is at the resistance level. So the stock is at an area of value. It's number one, it's the resistance level. Number two, it's this key level that we are looking at. If the stock was not going to pay a dividend, and with the ex-dividend date, we wouldn't be surprised if the share price continued to move up. But remember, other people will be selling. We saw two directors, they sold some stock, I think it was Thursday or Friday. And also on the ex-dividend date, if the stock now is trading at 96.78, so if it drops by R1.50, it can come to about 95 rand per share. If the stock manages to stay above this level, let's say maybe there's going to be a bit of a pullback and then the stock pushes up, then we can expect, in addition to the dividend, we can expect to make a capital gain there, because we bought the stock for technical reasons. We did not buy the stock for dividend purposes. But obviously, if the stock breaks to 95 rand per share and there's no support, then we won't be surprised if the stock it comes back to this somewhere around 85 or 80 rand per share. So don't just buy the company for dividend and forget about everything. Also think about what might happen technically. Again, we do have a position already. We're not gonna sell just all for the ex-dividend date purposes. We have a stop loss. Our stop loss, I think it's somewhere around 90 rand per share. So a R1.50 decrease is not gonna be major for us, because it's still far away from our stop loss that we set. So that's it that we wanted to share with you today. This company that is going to be paying a dividend in this upcoming week or weeks. At this moment, it's just a matter of days. So for those that don't have a position yet, just do your quick research to see if this thing makes sense to you, if this is a company that you can consider buying. Otherwise, I mean, you're never gonna catch them all. You will get some and you will miss some. So that's it for today. We will see you on the next video.